Greetings students, this is Miss Mills, here to share with you the mini lesson for syllables and affixes sort 42. If you look on the screen, you'll see our set of 22 words for this set. And as always, we're just going to begin by looking at them and trying to figure out what they might have in common. So if we just scan for starters, we've got quality, equator, quotation, squirming, quizzes, sequel, banquet. Lots of fun words. And you may notice that each of these words has a Q somewhere in them, either at the beginning, in the middle, or somewhere near the end. So our sort today is going to have to do with those cues and how they are used within the words. All right, so we are going to begin our sort. These are our three headings. We will find words that have the QU in the first syllable, like question. Words that have the QU in the second syllable, like equal, equal. And then words that where the QU makes the k sound, like antique. We don't say antique or antique, it just makes the k sound. So we'll be on the lookout for words where the QU serves that purpose. The first word is conquer. Conquer. When you hear this word, do you hear the QU making the qu or just k? Conquer. It's definitely not, the QU is definitely not in the first syllable, so we can rule that out. And to my ear, the QU sounds more like a k. So we're going to try it in that third category. Next we have request. Request. Another as a syllable to the word to ask. If you ask someone, you're requesting something of someone. And when we say this word, request, we hear the qu, right? The QU, not as just a k. It's not request, it's request. And it's not in the first syllable, so I'm going to stick it here in that middle category. Next is equipment. 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 Okay, so this is like a word for different gear, tools that you may need for something. And I did hear that qu in equipment, so I'm going to put that here with request. Next is sequence. Sequence. Again, the QU's not in the first syllable, sequence. And I do hear that QU. Next is banquet. 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 So again, in the second syllable, quet. Quet. I hear the QU. Next is racket. Racket. So this could be a tennis racket, for example, something used to play a sport. And we don't say racket. It's racket, right? So that QU is actually making a k sound. So we're going to stick it over there with conquer and antique. Racket. Next we have quotation. Quotation. Something that someone says. Quotation. That's obviously the first syllable. It's beginning the word, quo, and we can hear the QU clearly. Next we have liquid. Liquid. Liquid, second syllable, and quid. I believe I hear that QU in the middle of that word. Next is critique. A critique is a formal review, usually of a piece of art or a piece of writing. You can also critique others by giving them feedback on something that they've done. Critique. I hear k. We're going to stick that. Actually, it sounds a lot like antique, so that's a good sign, right? If the guiding word, the example word, resembles the words in the heading. Critique. Frequent. Frequent. This means that it's happening often. Frequent. It's in the second syllable, and I believe we're not just hearing frequent, it's frequent. We're really leaning into that U sound. Qualify. Qualify. There it is in the first syllable. Quizzes. Quizzes. We're hearing, it's almost like your mouth makes the same shape as it would make if you were saying a W for the quizzes. And so we know it's not just a K sound, it's using the Q and the U, both. Next is squirrel. Squirrel. Again, I know that my mouth is making like the shape of a W. Squirrel when I say it. So I know it's not this one. The question now is this in the first or the second syllable? Squirrel. That would be the first. So we'll stick it over here. Next, equator. 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 So it's not in the first syllable, and it definitely has the Q-U sound. Both, we can hear both of those. The equator, again, that's the line that splits the hemispheres of the Earth. The equator. Inquire. This is a wonderful word. It's a synonym of the word to ask. To inquire, you're asking about something. Inquire. And it's not in, the QU is not in the first syllable, so we'll stick it in this middle column. Next is quality. Quality. The QU starts out this word, and we do hear the quality. Next is squirming. Squirming. This is also a fun word. It's a action. It means like wriggling, writhing about. Squirming. Not staying still, right? And squirming. That is also in the first syllable. Squirm. And again, my mouth is making the W shape, so I know squirming goes in that category. Next is sequel. Sequel. This word means it's the second one in a series. It's the sequel. It's the next. All right. Sequel. It's not in the first syllable, and we do hear the QU. Next, mosquito. Mosquito. When I say this word, my mouth never makes the shape like I'm trying to say W. It's not mosquito. I don't feel that. Mosquito. So I think that QU is serving as a K sound. Mosquito. We have a lot of those up in Minnesota where I'm from. It makes it very itchy if you get a lot of mosquito bites. Technique. Technique. Once again, I'm not making any sort of W sound. So that QU is serving as a K. Technique. A technique is a word that means how you do something. It's your method for, it could be your dance technique, your writing technique, you can have the technique is just a word describing how you do anything that you do. Queasy. Queasy, this kind of means that if you're feeling ill, usually like you're a little bit of a stomach ache, maybe you're a little dizzy, you're feeling queasy. The QU starts out this word, so it's in the first syllable, and I do hear queasy. So I'll put that in this category. Next, quadrant. Quadrant. A quadrant is a fourth, it's like 1 out of 4 regions of a shape or of a graph, perhaps if you've learned about graphing. Quadrant is 1 out of 4 sections, usually equal sections. Quadrant. It starts out this word, so I'm going to say it is part of that first syllable. Okay, we've got the 22 words here. Let's check before you write down your answer key. Okay, and it looks like they are all correct. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to make sure you can see all of them. Sorry, the heading is a little bit cut off there. In your books now, I want you to open up to the page where you have the headings and write down the words in the correct categories to serve as your answer key. All right, so just once again to review, we have words here where the QU is in the first syllable, making the kwa sound. And pay attention to the shape of your lips. Kwa. You'll make that same W shape for these words. This set of words here has the QU in the second syllable, and once again, it's making the kwa sound. Lastly, these words have a QU, but it doesn't make the kwa sound, it just makes k sound. Conquer, racket, critique, mosquito, technique. I hope that you realize how cool these words are, and also just recognize these are challenging to spell, so it's going to take some work to learn them, but I'm confident that once you pay attention to these patterns, you'll be able to master this spelling pattern. So good luck, have fun, and I hope you even can incorporate some of these words into your writing and recognize them as you're reading to build your vocabulary. So anyway, have a great rest of your day and enjoy learning new words.